baby? This is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Make sure you tap into Black Authentic Truth for your latest news. It's great information, baby. Bomb Squad!
Hey, man, let me tell you something, man. There's a lot of history. You know, every month they do Black History. They got Juneteenth. But there's nothing like Black Authentic Truth than what you get in ICBK. You want to make sure you subscribe to Black Authentic Truth. The reason why is because we actually give you the truth that correlates with historical information and it incorporates with the Bible as well. You want to know why they don't have an answer for our condition in slavery? Because they don't bring the Bible. Black Authentic Truth marries Black history with the Bible, gives you the correct information. Make sure you subscribe to Black Authentic Truth for the proper information. Shalom.
Street Nasheed right here in Los Angeles, making it do what it do, man. Y'all check out Black Authentic Truth. Get some real good games on YouTube. Black Authentic Truth, man. Check it out, man. Real good information.
Man, you know what's going on. It's your boy Geechee Gotti. I'm rocking with Black Authentic Truth. You want to learn something? Tune in, man. Get your knowledge up. Get your history up, man. Know about something, man. You know what time it is, man. Geechee Gotti, Black Authentic Truth, man. Like and subscribe.
Black man, I have an obligation to my race of people, not to no other race or no other nationality, just to black people.
And you have always hated us. We have loved you consistently for 400 years. We prayed to that white Jesus, and we saluted your flag, and we died in your militaries, and you beat us like dogs.
This is Black Authentic Truth. Hey, what's good with y'all? What's good with y'all, man? I'm the Walker Bar for Black Authentic Truth. I'm in the building. I've been missing in action. I'm going a little earlier today because I got some things to do, but I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to bring that Black Authentic Truth to the table on social media, a different perspective, an authentic perspective, a historical perspective, and I'm glad to be at service of my brothers and sisters. All right. Hopefully everything is going good as far as the audio. I know the last few times me starting off, it'd be some type of issue. But I think everything is going smooth. If you're up in here, give me a 1. If the audio, if you can hear me loud and clear. And then I'm gonna get right back. I'm gonna get right into the show, okay? Because I got a few things I want to cover. I got a history quiz and I got a Black Authentic Truth story. So yes, you'll definitely leave away learning something. Okay. Won't be a long live, but thank you, Kapa. Thank you. Won't be a long live. We'll go about 40 minutes to an hour, but you're definitely going to walk away with learning something. Now, I recently posted a video of the quiz, the historical history quiz. And a lot of people were saying on different platforms, oh, it's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. Well, you know, you want to make it fair. Not everyone is a historian. Not everyone, you know, learns about Black history and knows all of these hidden figures in history. The average person, you know, they might know a little bit, but they don't know everything, right? But I had some people saying, oh, this is too easy. I know all of them, blah, blah, blah. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try to up the difficulty level. So that's what I'm going to do with the history quiz today. Okay. But first, what I want to say is I want to just ask brothers and sisters, how is your Sunday going? We're right around the afternoon right now. Mine's is going swell. Mine's is going good. It's a nice day today. Can't complain, right? Can't never complain when you can get up, you can walk, you can talk, you can move around. You should never get locked into the mindset of complaining, right? So how's everybody doing? You should never, you know, have that type of outlook. Shalot said he's doing good. That's good to hear, brother. That's good to hear. Well, maybe some people are going to respond. I'm going to get right into it. So recently, the killer of Sonya Massey was sentenced to 20 years, the police officer. And let me just rewind a little bit. You remember, Kapa said very well. That's good to hear, sis. That's good to hear. Now, with Sonya Massey, what you remember is this sister who obviously, you know, wasn't all mentally there, had called the police complaining about an intruder outside of her house. The police came, they checked around the house, there was nothing there. They go inside the house, they're talking to her, and she's talking in a way that with somebody like sense, with somebody with sense, I mean, I got some sense. I know y'all got some sense. Would notice right away, you know, maybe everything ain't right upstairs with the sister, although she does have her own apartment, she lives alone. And the officer, they're standing there questioning the sister while she has a pot of water, right? And the officer tells her to, you know, put down the pot of water or move it, and she moves it, and he says, I'll shoot you in your effing face. And she crouches down, and he shoots three times, and you know, shoots her in the face. Even on the video, which is terrible, he says something like damn, her, you know, her eye is hanging out, like, you know, like it was nothing, right? But anyway, now recently he just got sentenced to 20 years for murdering that sister. And I believe her father is going to push even more for a federal case after this, so that he don't, you know, he's still going to have to deal with something after he does his sentence. I don't know if it's, you know, 100%, 85% of that 20 years. I don't know the particulars, but this is a rare case when white supremacy actually works against itself, when white supremacists actually convict their own. It's very rare. It's a very rare token to the Black community, and a pacification to the Black community that justice will still prevail. You know what I mean? Because it's very rare that we see that an officer actually is convicted of unaliving our people on camera. Very, very rare. It's a very rare instance. Okay. But just don't let that fool you, and don't start to think like, okay, maybe there is some some hope for the justice system, because the vast majority of us, we don't get those outcomes. Brothers and sisters, they don't get those outcomes. You know, an officer unalives a brother, you know, it's a lot of flack in the media, They, suspend him with pay. They let him go. And then next thing you know, a couple years later, you hear that this officer has a new job at some other precinct. That's typically how it happens. But this is a very rare instance in the Sonya Massey case where you see he actually got convicted of the crime. Other times they can play the loophole and say, well, he felt threatened. He was in fear for, it was a split-second decision. Well, this time white supremacy punished itself in the Sonya Massey's case. But at the end of the day, like, these things have happened so much and so many times that typically people don't expect for this outcome to be the outcome. They expect for the police officer to get off, to get a slap on the wrist, to get rehired. It's so many stories with officers involved in shootings, like the officer that unalived Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old playing with a play gun in a park. And the officer literally comes in up in the frame of the video and within a split second slides in and shoots the 12-year-old black boy. He got another job. He got let go, but he got another job at another precinct. So that's typically how it happens. But, it's good that her family did get, Sonya Massey's family did get a little bit of justice in her case. You know what I mean? It's a sad, sad situation that should never happen. And you would think that they would stop hiring psychopaths to these police departments. You would think that they would hire people with higher IQs. They would hire people that can tell the difference between somebody in their right mind or somebody that is not taking their medication properly. You would think that they would have that ability and wouldn't be so afraid or in fear of their life that they would take a life unjustly. Okay, so now I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna play this video. Drop this. Sorry. Where we at? Let me rewind this. It's not on the screen. Let me get it back on the screen. My apologies. Okay, I am sharing it, but where did it go? Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Now, this is the story of the nurse that was breaking the bones of little black babies in the intensive care unit.
And more breaking news out of Henrico, where a nurse accused of abusing premature infants at a local hospital has now pled no contest to several charges, including abuse. Our Melissa Hippolyte was in the courtroom today and shares what we've learned.
Former Henrico Doctors Hospital NICU nurse Erin Strotman pled no contest to 9 different charges of felony child abuse. Now, she was originally facing 20 counts of felony child abuse and malicious wounding related to incidents.
Look at this.
It's involved.
Look at this devil. 20 counts of child abuse, of abusing premature infants, helpless babies. Man, this is crazy. This is crazy. Crazy.
9 different babies who were injured in the NICU at Henrico's Doctors Hospital, stemming all the way back to 2022. Now, the no contest pleas mean that Strotman contends she never intended to hurt the babies, but she acknowledges there is sufficient evidence to find her guilty. As CBS 6 previously reported, multiple babies were found with broken bones in the NICU in the late summer of 2023.
She said she never intended, or she didn't think that she was hurting them. She never intended to hurt the babies, but she does understand the evidence against her. This is one of those cases of Amber, what's the girl name? Amber Rose or somebody. Now I might be saying it wrong, but the white police officer that unalived Botham Jean, but it's like they are given the benefit of the doubt for their tears and for their lies and for their lack of admission of guilt. White women are given the benefit of the doubt. She's given the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna show you how as this story keeps playing.
And Strautman was placed on paid administrative leave at the time by the hospital. An investigation by Child Protective Services at that time founded child abuse, but a perpetrator could not be identified. Strautman was ultimately brought back to work, and within weeks, 3 more babies suffered broken bones. Strautman.
That's bullshit. So it happened before. Then they said the person who did it couldn't be identified. Like they couldn't figure out who did it. Isn't these places supposed to have cameras everywhere? Like detectives can piece together 2 niggas that shot at each other on a city street. But inside of a hospital with all the technology, all of the funding and money for cameras and all of that, you could not figure out who was doing this. And then she went back to work again, and it happened to 3 more babies. That's white privilege. That's white privilege to hurt and maim and do whatever you want to do. Literally. She got a second chance to hurt premature babies.
Left out a side door and did not talk to the media, so we were unable to talk to her. None of the victims' families wanted to talk to us either. Now, during the plea hearing, prosecutors showed video of Strautman caring for a couple of the babies. In the videos, you could see her pushing down on 2 of the babies' legs forcefully, and you could see her holding one of the babies while she was sitting down and then falling over onto her side while still holding the baby. Families cried while the videos were shown in court.
You haven't seen what she did to my baby on that camera. She is evil.
Strautman.
You hear that, sister? This. Thank you, Shalot. Thank you. This is one of those technical difficulties, right? That it's going on mute on its own. But I want you to think about this. You give me a 1 if you can hear me, Shalot, before I say this. I just want to make sure. Thank you. Listen. You hear that sister? She said she is evil. Now, I want you to think about this. These are children. These are babies that are premature. They are fighting for their lives. Preemies, premature babies. And imagine being born. Well, hell, in this wicked world, think about all the things a baby got to go through to be born. Well, they decided to keep you. You wasn't aborted, okay? You wasn't born stillborn. There was no other complications, but you was born a preemie. You was born premature, fighting for your life. And then you're born into the ICU, and you have this monstrous beast of a nurse that is presiding over you. You're in the care of a damn she-devil that is breaking your bones. I wonder how would, if your bones is broke as a premature baby, is it a complication in your bones healing the right way, or is there going to be any complications later on? But think about that. That is pure evil, and they protected this woman. Not only that, they let her out on a $25,000 bond. She should be under the jail. Had this been a black nurse, she would have not gotten out. She would be under the jail, and she would get the fullest extent of the law. if it was a black woman that was a nurse that was breaking the bones of white children. She would have literally not seen the light of day ever again. You're talking about 20 cases, 9 babies, a black woman, a black nurse. I've never even heard of nothing like this. Now, I ain't going to say that black people don't do bad stuff. I'm not going to say that black people don't. There ain't been videos of black people abusing children on camera or abusing elderly people. But to break the bones of premature babies is like, what is wrong with you? This supersedes bad decisions and accidents. This is pure evil. And they let her out. They let the devil out. The she-devil out. They let her out of jail. She shouldn't have had a bond. She did this to black people's baby. These people are hurt over what happened to their children. They're hurt and angry. They don't even want to talk to the media about it. That her getting out. And there she gets to play like she didn't know. The judge also let her out saying that they don't think that she's a flight risk and she's not a danger to herself. Who gives a damn about that? She should be locked up. She should not be out. Doesn't matter if you think she's going to run or not, or if she's going to hurt herself or not. The sheer violence and the sheer how can I say? The sheer evil of what she did, he should not have had a bond. Kappa said, in their eyes, we're disposable. Right. In their eyes, we're disposable. Now, you got to think about this. And this is to all you nurses, because I know a lot of you nurses are just straight up bitches. You're rude, you're evil, you're mean. Why in the hell are you even a nurse? That's what you say about like when you go to you go to a convenience store, you go somewhere, a department store or something, and somebody's being rude. You say, why are you even in this job if you don't have the qualities for this job? If you can't be polite, if you don't have courtesy, if you don't have understanding, restraint, and patience, why are you even in this job? And so as a nurse, why the fuck are you in a job if you're going to be hurting people? If you're going to be, trying to unalive people and put things in their IV and break babies' bones. Why the fuck are you even there? You shouldn't even be there. You would think a nurse is in a position for people who are helpless, for people who need help. And the person that needs help would hope and have to assume, there's like a moth or something up in there. The person that needs help would have to assume like, I hope that this person has, they're compassionate on me and they treat me with dignity. You would think that's how it's supposed to go. But you don't even know. Like with this nurse, she was a damn she-devil, man. And then they're protecting her. That's white privilege right now. She had the privilege not only to do it once, they didn't even investigate. They acted like they couldn't figure out who did it. She was allowed to go back to work and do it twice. That has to be the most evilest thing I've heard in a very long time, other than the slavery stories, like with Mary Turner, where the baby fell out of her body and the angry white mob crushed the baby, the fetus, after they cut her stomach open. You have a premature baby that's just born, that's fighting for its life, and you fucking breaking their bones and acting like you don't know what happened to them. You're a devil and you need to be under the jail. You need to be under the jail, right? Let me move on. Now, I want to talk about, this will be brief. I just want to talk about, the Epstein files, and some more files that got dropped. They said the DOJ dropped another batch of Epstein file. Like the DOJ dropped the album. You know what I mean? We dropped the album. And in these files, it's coming out that Donald Trump allegedly abused 13-year-olds, SA'd 13-year-old girls. And MAGA is saying It can't be verified. It's not true. And I had to think in my mind, like, you people are very low IQ that follow Donald Trump. And I'm not a political person. I know some good white folks out there that would say, there's not no young child, a lot of them, they're going to come forth and say, this is what happened to me. Just out the blue. Over years. This is another white supremacy story. Because, you know, when it's a black man that thinks he's up there and he's doing that type of stuff, and women come forward or children come forward, oh yeah, he's done. How do I know that? R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, the diddler. And I'm bringing them up not to say, like, that's not fair what happened to him. I'm bringing it up to show you the inconsistency in justice. But when you know, this is the thing. This is the thing I really want to say. You live in a world where you think everything is Pleasantville. You're looking at these men, you're looking at these world leaders, you're looking at these men in suits and ties and the comb over, and they talk this way, and they went to Yale and they went to Princeton. You're looking at them as though everything is on the up and up. You're looking at them as though these things don't happen. When nothing can be farther from the truth. They will go to very far lengths to keep their secrets. America has been at war since the inception of America. You can go on YouTube and see stories of military personnel that were in special units that were going to other countries to destabilize them, to assassinate secretly heads of state, up and coming leaders, in order for America to stay on top. The level of evil that exists that you can't see, when it is all revealed, you won't even believe. Now, in every way, they have persecuted Epstein for the island and what was going on there. And he had friends and associates. They're in all the pictures. But somehow they have figured out a way to keep the public, or the low IQ followers of Donald Trump, believe that he wasn't involved in that. There's a story right now with Selma Hayek. A video came out where she was saying she met him with her husband. Donald Trump talking to her husband. Yeah, take my number. Boo, 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 boo. Next thing you know, he's calling her. She talked to him. He like, yeah, your husband don't need, you know, he don't deserve you. He's not good for you. Be with me. When you talk about these super rich people in the world that they're in, that elite world, they believe that they can do anything. They believe, and they do it. They do it. They do anything. It's going to come out. Behind the scenes, the SAing of children, the murdering of women, eating people, drinking blood, all of the stuff that you see that they say are conspiracy theories, they're really happening. But you too damn, brainwashed, for lack of a better term, to understand that's the real world. The real world is battles going on back and forth, underhanded deals, people being sacrificed. That's what I'm gonna get into. Kapar said, the same people involved with Epstein were the same people involved in Pizzagate. It was labeled fake news. Exactly. And just to add into it, the news, the propaganda machine that we have in America is crazy. And let me just give you a case in point. Most people think that in America, we're in the greatest nation in the world. I recently seen a video with people from not Greenland, but it's right next to Greenland. Was it Greenland? It's the next place right by, is it Finland? They were talking about how good their life is, going to college for free. You know, everything taken care of, extra days off. You don't work like you work in America. They look at American culture like it's trash, like it would destroy their culture and their in their country. They look at American culture like, look at all the people, you know, on drugs. All the people destroyed. The president is like a child. And I'm like, people really think in America, we really think that, America is this great place. When people are living a far better quality of life in other countries, far better. Even with all the things we got and we think we got it going on in America, there are countries where they're living a better quality, healthier quality of life. And getting back to that, everything we believe comes from this media machine, the propaganda that they say about other countries. You thinking the country is this evil country. Meanwhile, it has a leader that is just trying to protect his people and give them a better quality of life, but he won't do what, the United States says to do. So what do? They say, well, he's an insurgent. He's trying to get weapons of mass destruction. He's trying to do this. He's trying to do that. He's evil. He's a drug lord. Meanwhile, America is doing all of the things that they accuse people of doing abroad and to their own citizens. Shala said, Trump is Willy Wonka and America is his factory. That's facts. Factories, that's facts. You know what I mean? But yeah, when it comes to these Epstein files, they are throwing all kind of stuff in the news to take your focus off of the fact that these people deal and they love to mess with little young children. This is something that's ancient. This is in the Bible. This is ancient Greece. This is ancient Rome. America has taken its governmental system from ancient Rome. And the world is given into the hands of the wicked. There are a lot of good people in the world. There's a lot of positive people in the world. But never forget, you are living in a world that is full of wickedness and ran by people who are wicked to the core, doing things you wouldn't even believe. You could, it'd be something out of a horror movie if you knew what is going on behind the scenes with children, with all those missing people. All right. So now let me get this story I want to get to. I thought it was important to go over. I'm gonna go over this next story, and then I'm gonna go into the quiz, and then we'll get the Black Authentic Truth story. Okay. But I thought this story was relevant to bring up because it segues into what I wanted to talk about also is the missing children, Black people. I don't know if y'all noticed, but have you noticed all the Black people that are missing? The little boys, little girls, the teenagers, the grown men and women. There's something sinister going on behind the scenes. And you need to wake the hell up. You need to make better decisions about raising your children and teach your children and teach them not to be alone. Your teenagers, not to be going places. Even though we feel secure in America, going back to how we think America is great, many people think they're secure. But you can get in an Uber and never be seen again. There's many people with their children said, hey, mom, I'm going to see my friend, and they didn't see their friend no more. And now they're on social media, on Facebook, where they post saying, have you seen my son? Have you seen my daughter? You better take heed. All right. Let me get this. Now, I'm going to preface this with, this is I believe she's a stripper, porn star. Okay. What she's saying is very relevant to everybody, but particularly the Black community. Okay.
Like, how did it feel as a daughter to like be abused by your father?
Wow, nobody's ever asked me that. I really don't know. Wow, I never thought about that. I don't know.
She was asked, how does it feel to be to have been abused by your father? And it's almost like she's never thought about it and she's put it behind her in her mind. And no one has ever even spoke about it or asked her about it. Let me keep going.
So what we'll do is kind of, we'll move past that. So
Let me make sure my makeup.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Nah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blindside you with it.
You know what? I just have not had probably any proper fucking therapy or something, clearly, which I haven't had any. Sometimes it's okay to just let it out. And I did have a childhood. You know, I did. And I tell people all the time, I tell men, everybody, if you don't want your daughters to be like me, and this is just real life, take care of your kids, be there for your kids. Because, you know, and not every girl ends up like me, because I could have been dead. I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been through a lot of shit. And it's just a blessing that I'm here. I've been to prison. I've been through a lot of shit. I don't look like what I've been through, and I don't talk about it. And maybe I should talk about it more so people can understand. I was homeless. I ended up running into a pimp when I was 14 out here in Dallas. And I was walking the track at 14 years old. And I walked inside of Crybabies at the time. And the owners of Crybabies, RIP to both of them. And I always had a shape before the ass shots. I always was, you know, nicely built, even young, unfortunately, just, you know. And I learned early. It was a gift and a curse. I learned early that I had a spark in me that men were attracted to, that I could get whatever I needed out of men, whether I had to manipulate them or just be me.
Now, I don't got the video, but the other part of the video. But number one, she talked about being abused by her father, right? The brother asked her about it. She didn't talk about it. She broke down, started crying. She had to stop the interview. There's another segment of this where she talks about being molested in the church when she was 13 by someone in the church, like an 18-year-old, 17-year-old in the church, inside the church, okay? And she is a porn star, stripper, and she said, I haven't talked about it. Maybe I need to talk about it more. And I agree. Many women and men that find themselves in a sexual deviant lifestyle need to express and talk about how did they get there? What was their childhood like? Okay. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is a prime example, a reflection of the Black community. If you ever question why a woman is a stripper, you question why is she in pornography? Why is she doing OnlyFans? Why is she half naked on the gram, on Facebook? for content, trying to make money from content. This is the reason right here. From a broken childhood, from abuse, from neglect, okay, from molestation, and of all places, the place where you're supposed to find God, the Black Christian church, which is vile and disgusting and all about prosperity and serving your own flesh and your own lust. This is what she experienced, and this is how she turned out. She turned into a person that, you know, basically gets on video and have sexual intercourse for money. And the most important thing, one of the most powerful things she said in there, if you don't want your daughters to turn out like me, then you need to be in their lives, which I'll give a stamp of approval. I approve that message. You need to be in your children's lives. All right. So with that, I'm going to drop that and we're going to get to, I'm going to do let me drop this. Now it's time for the history quiz. Okay, I'm gonna give it 20 seconds for each one, and I'm gonna start with the first one. Number one, who is this? Who is this woman? This is the history quiz. Who is this woman? Shala said, I don't know. Kapa said, I don't know. All right, since no one knows, this is Clementine Hunter. Clementine Hunter was a self-taught artist, and she started painting at the age of 50 years old. And she made more than 5,000 paintings. She died at 100 years old. Okay. Next one. Who is this? Shala said, listen, I don't know. I'll give it about 10 more seconds. Okay. After this, we got the Black Authentic True Story. Got a good story. All right. This, Kapa said, I'm slipping. I don't know. This is Frederick McKinley Jones. Frederick McKinley Jones, he was an inventor, he was an entrepreneur, and he was an engineer. And he basically innovated refrigeration technology. Refrigeration technology as far as for trucks delivering food long distances. Next one. Who is this woman? Who is this sister? Okay. I mean, these are good ones to learn about, and then over time, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be just adding the same people in because I actually did Frederick McKinley Jones before, but this sister is Marie Van Britten Brown. She was a nurse, but also her and her husband were electronic technicians, and basically they applied for a patent for a security system. They invented an audio visual security system, the first. You was right. You was there, Kapal. You was there. You was there. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. Who is this brother? I'll give it about 5 more seconds. All right. Now, this is Otis Boykin. He was an engineer, he was an inventor. He basically created resistors, invented resistors for guided missiles, computing, and the most important one, the most notable one is the pacemaker, the heart pacemaker. Okay. So I said I failed today. Yes. So this brother is very, very important in the medical field. And another one. Who is this brother? Who is this? So I said, man, I don't know, man. Damn. I didn't get it. I didn't get one. This is Percy Levon Julian. Percy, he was a research chemist and he pioneered chemical synthesis of medicinal drugs from plants. So he was a pioneer in breaking down the chemicals of plants and turning them into medicine. Okay. Yes, Kappa, you was right. He was a chemist. You're right. And I didn't want to give it away because part of the picture is him actually in there with, vials and stuff, mixing stuff. So I try to cut it off to where it doesn't give it away, but the overcoat does, kind of give that he was in the medical field. Okay. Yeah. So now it's time for the Black Authentic True story. Okay. And the story I would be going in today is about Clementine Hunter. Okay. If you heard the name, you just heard it. She was in the actual quiz. All right. So let me remove some stuff. Let me get prepared. Just give me a second. Get prepared to do this story. Get my mic together. 1 second, y'all. Let me wet my pipes. Now, this is the story of Clementine Hunter. Clementine Hunter's exact birth date is not known. It is believed she was born in late December 1886 or early January 1887 into a Creole family at Hidden Hill Plantation near Clouderville in Natchitoches Parish, Louisiana. She was born to Janvier Rubin and Mary Antoinette Adams, and she was the first child of 7 siblings. Her family moved to Clouderville when she was around 5 years old. She had attended St. John's the Baptist Catholic Church School, a segregated school with harsh rules, which Hunter cited as the reason she left school at a young age. Because of this, she never learned to read or write. She began working in the fields at 8 years old, picking cotton alongside her father. They moved around a lot due to her father always looking for work. In 1902, they moved to Melrose Plantation, where when she was, excuse me, sorry, let me make sure. I have to make sure of something. Make sure that the mic ain't going off, okay? Let's get back to it. I apologize for the interruption. Matter of fact, let's get back. Let me put it back on here this way. All right, here we go. There we go. In 1902, they moved to Melrose Plantation. When she was around 15 years old, her father had been hired as a wage laborer by plantation owner John H. Henry. She worked as an agricultural laborer, also working 6 days a week for most of the year. She would pick 150 to 200 pounds of cotton a day for 75 cents in wages. In the fall season, she would harvest pecans. She gave birth to her first child, a boy, in 1907 by Charles Dupree, a Creole man known for his highly skilled labor on the plantation. After a few years, they had a daughter. Dupree died in 1914. Clementine married Emmanuel Hunter. In 1924, he was a Creole wood chopper at Melrose Plantation. She spoke only Creole French, and she credited Emmanuel for teaching her American English. They had 5 children together, 2 of whom were stillborn. One time when she was pregnant, she harvested 78 pounds of cotton before going home and giving birth. She returned to work a few days later. Hunter began working as cook and housekeeper for Cammie Henry, the wife of John H. Henry. Hunter was known for adapting traditional Creole recipes, which had been orally passed down to her and her family. She could sew intricate clothing, make dolls for children, and she also tended to the house's vegetable garden. Cammie Henry created an artist colony at Melrose Plantation after the death of her husband. During this period, many artists and writers visited the plantation. Clementine noticed all of the discarded tubes of paint which these artists began to collect. I'm sorry. Let me read that over again. Clementine noticed all the discarded tubes of paint from these artists, and she began to collect them to use for herself. It is said that this was the first time she painted, but by her own account, she had painted much earlier in her life. Hunter's husband, Emmanuel, became terminally ill and bedridden. She became the sole provider for the family, working full-time and painting late at night. Sadly, Emmanuel died in 1944, and after this, she began selling paintings for 25 cents. She gained support from numerous individuals that visited. Melrose Plantation curator Francois Mignon supplied her with paint and materials and promoted her artwork. Hunter and Mignon co-authored Melrose Plantation Cookbook in 1956. The book featured photographs of Melrose Plantation with illustrations drawn by Hunter and her recipes. Francois Mignon and the University of Oklahoma faculty member James Register encouraged Hunter and promoted her work. Register was able to get Hunter a Julius Rosenwald Foundation grant for African American visual artists. She was featured in a Look magazine article, June 16th, 1953, Innocence Regained, which included a photograph of the artist in her cabin surrounded by her paintings. This brought her national attention. She painted every night and after completing her chores. She used readily available materials such as house paint on cardboard, paper bags, scrap wood, snuff boxes, cutting boards, wine bottles, and milk jugs, but she moved on to more conventional materials of oil and watercolors on canvas. Once she had begun, Clementine could not stop producing painting after painting. She never titled her paintings, but would describe them when asked about them. The style of her artwork was abstract impressionism, expressing ordinary folk, working the land, cooking, washing, resting, going to church, participating in dances, celebrating weddings and baptisms, and attending funerals. She is quoted as saying of her artwork, "I just get in my mind and I just go ahead and paint, but I can't look at nothing and paint. No trees, no nothing. I just make my own tree in my mind. That's the way I paint." Hunter would thin out her supply of paint with turpentine, creating a watercolor effect, which caused many to mistakenly believe she had a watercolor experimental phase. With more access to painting supplies later in her career, she used a wider array of colors. Hunter's largest work is a series of murals in the African house at Melrose Plantation, built by enslaved people at Melrose Plantation. The African house is a Creole hybridization of various African, French, and Native American building traditions. Hunter painted murals in the Yucca house and the main Melrose Plantation house. In 1955, Hunter and Mignon collaborated to produce the series of paneled murals that depict the history of the Cane River Valley and reflected her life. The murals consist of 9 rectangular panels, each painted in Hunter's home studio, completed over 3 months. The murals were finished when Hunter was 68 years old. In the 1980s, she began painting on smaller handheld objects like jugs and bottles. She passed away in 1988 at the sweet age of 100 years old. Today, her work can be seen in the Dallas Museum of Fine Art, the American Folk Art Museum, Minneapolis Institute of Arts, the Ogden Museum of Southern Art, the New Orleans Museum of Art, the Louisiana State Museum, and the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. In 2019, Louisiana state legislators passed a resolution that designated October 1st as Clementine Hunter Day. She was recognized by Presidents Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, and U.S. Senator J. Bennett Johnson Jr. Clementine's work has sold for between $200,000 and $85,000 at auctions. She produced more than 5,000 pieces of artwork. Clementine Hunter grew up in communities of Black sharecroppers and tenant farmers. She started painting in her 50s, expressing what she saw in her life on the plantation. And today, her life and the narrative she conveyed throughout her art lives on. This is the story of a visionary, a creative, and an amazing soul. Ladies and gentlemen, Clementine Hunter. All right. Now that's the Black Authentic Truth story. I appreciate all you brothers and sisters for rocking with me, for keeping it black and authentic. This story is a really good story, you know, and I wanted to bring it out because I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that don't know about her. I didn't know about her. My rib put me onto her. So I didn't know about Clementine Hunter, but now I do. I need that. You know what I'm saying? I need that energy. I need that knowledge. I need that Black Authentic Truth. So when somebody show me something like, have you ever heard of this person? I'm like, no, I'm finna look into it. And that's what I did. And I thought that her story was amazing. Clementine Hunter. All right. Shala said, listen, I need that black hat, black out there the truth shirt. That's what's up. That's what's up. Appreciate it. All right. So with that, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. I got some plans. I hope that you guys stay, just stay out the way. Stay out the way of ICE. Matter of fact, man, I seen ICE. I seen them, what is it? Friday? I seen ICE. Yesterday, I was behind a police, a black and white. I got pulled over by a special unit. I said, man, they just turning it up in the streets right now. But yeah, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're living righteous, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You can look them right in the eye and you can ask them, what was the point? The point of them pulling me over was just to see if I was on parole or probation, which I'm not. You know what I mean? That was the whole point of it, and after that, it was nothing. But yeah, man, just stay out the way. I hope that y'all have a good evening today, this Sunday. Get some rest, prepare for the week that's coming, the work week, whatever you got to do, handle your business. I'll see y'all soon. This is the Wagga Bar for Black Authentic Truth. Y'all keep it Black Authentic Truth. Y'all keep it black and authentic. You know what I'm saying? The blacker the berry, the deeper the roots, the sweeter the truth. You already know what it is. This is Black Authentic Truth. Peace, y'all. This is Black Authentic Truth.